Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Combat Conversations, and I'm your boy AG, aka the Boxing Guru, because I tell you what, I've been on point with a few things. I'm gonna get a little upset about this next one that's coming up, but I'm joined as always by my man and partner Drake. DB, what's going on with you, baby?
What's going on with you, AG?
Nothing much. What was your level of intensity of fandom this weekend?
Fucking high.
I tell you what, man, like boxing fans won this weekend. You know, with MMA, we got a hot MMA UFC 274 coming up, huge card, but this weekend boxing fans won big time. You know, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, can't get enough of that. We're gonna get into that first things first. Shakur Stevenson putting on a performance, a clinic like we called it. Canelo coming up, masterclass performance. Canelo coming up against what we believe as to be his biggest test in a long time, and could be one of his biggest tests that he possibly could face until he just continues to move up. And then UFC 274, just to bring it all the way home. This is the run. I mean, I keep saying it every episode. I got to get it off one time. So, but for starters, my goodness, was that Madison Square Garden was popping, bro.
Hey, I mean,
MSG put on a show.
We've said it time and time again. P. Diddy, I mean, is he not the best promoter in the game? You sell out MSG for a women's title fight?
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, you know, to their credit, arguably, it was for the GWOAT conversation. I mean, it was arguably the greatest women's headliner of all time, and it lived up to every bit of that hype. It really did. I mean, I felt the electricity in my basement. I mean, of course, I got that 7.1 Dolby Digital surround sound, but you get what I'm saying. That shit was electric.
Nah, to put that into perspective, I mean, like, well, I forgot what round it was, but I mean, even the ref couldn't even hear the bell because it was so loud.
I mean, tell me about that shit. That was crazy. The ref standing 10 feet away couldn't even hear the damn bell. And, you know, the fighters are going to kind of react to what the ref, because they in the zone. You know, the boxers are definitely not going to hear that. They not, you know. And then I noticed, so if you did pay attention to that, the very next round, you know how they give the 10-second warning? That motherfucker was loud as shit. Whoever was beating on that pad, because, you know, he was bap, 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 bap. Like, hey, there's 10 seconds left in this motherfucker. The bell is coming up, so y'all best to hear it. But my goodness, what a show. Matchroom, P. Diddy, Eddie Hearn, with that jackass in the pink shades, Jake Paul. Hey, Jake Paul showed up, though. He put on a show, too. So,
hey, props to Jake, because this doesn't happen without him.
No, it don't happen without Jake. It don't happen without Amanda Serrano. There's a lot of MVP promotions, man, that I tell you what, they came together and put on a big show. So, what a card, too. I mean, all the way top to bottom. Just real quick, my man Ammo Williams shined again. Hey, he's going to be a problem.
Real
Actually,
deal.
I seen they already put him in the top 10 rankings for, I think, the WBA, if I'm not mistaken. Ammo Williams is here.
I mean, didn't you leave the studio for like 2 seconds and then?
Yeah, I told you that's it. And next thing you know, he ends the fight. So Ammo Williams is here. Beefy, Liam Smith against Jesse Vargas. I mean, that was a showdown in of itself. And Liam Smith seems to have put himself back in the driver's seat for a title shot since he's lost to Jaime Munguia. But, you know, hey, Liam Smith is continuing to look good at his old age with his gray hair. It's just funny as shit seeing him fight. But he's putting on shows.
I mean, they were talking about how it's possibly his last fight, but I didn't see anything that, that showed he can't go, and he looked good.
Yeah, I agree. And Jesse Vargas put on a good show early on, but he faded. He faded real early, 4th, 5th round, and Beefy was just starting to put it on him. So, which led us, and actually the fight before that, got to point that out, is with the two ladies in the undisputed fight. You know which one, the one before that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cruz DeZern and Cerrotos. I mean, that
was another banger.
I mean, just a fight that sucked you in from round one, and she put on a show. It just, I can't explain the hands that was being thrown. And I tell you what, Cerroto's face was
busted.
I mean, she was leaking.
Hell leaking.
Cruz Dezern had a leaking. So
I mean,
but
the fact that she was able to produce that much volume late into, like, I thought she was gonna fade.
yeah, and
She was throwing heat since round 1.
and kept it going too. Good point, because she didn't fade when it came down to late in the stretch.
I mean,
the hands just kept coming.
I mean, usually when you put your body into those punches, I mean, you're gonna get your gas tank empty real quick. And I mean, she just kept coming until the end of the fight.
Which brings us to the main event that went the whole distance too. Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano put on a performance for the books. That's all we gotta say. Let's sit back. Before we get into who we thought won or anything like that.
It's by far the greatest fight in women's history.
I want to take time for myself and hopefully for the listeners too. Take time and appreciate what we saw. Regardless, because I'm going to get into it why I do believe Amanda Serrano won that fight. But I'm not even going to bring in no emotion in this. I'm just going to bring in my logic, what I thought happened. And at the end of the day, I want to see it ran back with the rematch. But, man, just appreciate greatness in what we saw from the opening bell.
By far the greatest fight in women's boxing history.
Yeah.
Not even close. You know, last night was history.
It was big time history. And even then, it's funny how months ago Shakur even made the comment that I hope my fight doesn't overlap with that because he wants to see it. And kudos with Top Rank working together on making sure that didn't cross over. Mm-hmm. So, opening bell. I feel Katie Taylor came out strong. I think we both gave Katie Taylor that opening round. Plenty of people gave Katie Taylor that opening round. Now, it was one of those rounds where she won that round off a moment. It was a close round. Amanda's pressing the pace.
They were both filling each other out.
Don't forget, first 3 don't count. Don't forget the first 3 don't count. I thought about that. I got my
real fight didn't start till round 4.
It don't start till round 4. And I got little notes at the top. First 3 don't count. Okay, cool. So now that we didn't got that out the way, the first round, Amanda's pressing the pace, so I think she's doing things that could win the fight. Katie Taylor's landing some good shots that could win the round. But at the same time, I think it was one moment that really made me feel like you got to give this one to Katie. So then the second round come. Now, I tweeted this out too. Everybody's giving my man Chris Mannix some shit right now. Now, I've been on different pages with Chris Mannix a lot, but I don't think that his card was too far off. Now, we talked about this one. I gave Amanda Serrano the second round because I felt she was pressing the pace, landing some shots. But again, you can kind of see why Katie Taylor could win that round. Because did you not have Katie Taylor up 2-0 after 2?
Yeah, I had Katie up 2-0. And again, you know, for the same reasons you had her winning the first round, that's why I had her winning the second. Right. You know, I felt like there was a moment or two where it stuck out more than what it did for Amanda, and that's why I had her up 2-0.
Let me go ahead and say this now, that women's boxing needs to do whatever they can to get 3-minute rounds. I mean, these 2-minute rounds fly by way too fast. I'm all for keeping it at 10 rounds. Don't necessarily need to go 12. I'm cool with 10 round max, but we gotta get 3-minute rounds. 2-minute rounds are it's terribly too quick.
Do you think with a 3-minute round, do you think that fight would have lasted all 10 rounds?
Probably not. And we'll get into, keep getting into it here. So I felt like from the second round on, to me, you could see Amanda gaining momentum. I mean, I feel like it's obvious to me. So, again, some people are giving Katie Taylor round 3 also. I feel this is where Amanda started to gain momentum. And then by round 4, that's where she really took over to me. And then round 5 was a 10-8 round. She's beating the dog shit out of her. Then you got round 6 and round 7. So I think the core middle of the fight, Amanda's dominating. I really feel like these are not swing rounds. These are rounds that I feel are clear. Amanda's winning. Rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Right. The rounds she won decisively.
Yes.
Like, you knew for a fact it was all Amanda Serrano.
Yeah.
And then the rounds that Katie Taylor were winning, I mean, you could argue there's
she was
rounds.
putting up she was putting up a dog fight right there in the ring. But she had to eke out small moments to me to really give that round to her. And I was in no shame of giving her a round. I gave Katie Taylor I gave her round 1, round 8, round 9, and I argued round 10, but I even wanted to lean Amanda Serrano for how she landed the last couple shots, like the last 10 seconds. But let's just say that's 4 rounds out of 10. I got it 6-4 Amanda Serrano off of score, like round 6-4. But one of them, remember, I gave a 10-8. So I had her up. I believe my final score was 97-94. Even I was no stranger to giving that 10th round a 10-10. You know, give them both the 10s, because after the way they performed, man, they both deserved it. Now, again,
I mean,
I chose Amanda Serrano in a very, very close split decision. Go back, check last episode. Very close split decision. I thought Amanda Serrano would pull out the exact type of fight that I thought she did pull out. The exact type of fight that happened.
No, you did. You called it.
But at the end of the day, Katie Taylor got the lean, and, you know, not sitting here claiming robbery, but I do think it should have went the other way. That's it.
No, I agree with you.
What a fight.
You know,
I'm still satisfied.
I had Amanda winning, actually, though, 7-3, though.
Still satisfied.
Still satisfied.
Yeah. And,
you know, boxing fans, they got their money's worth.
Yeah, especially off a monthly subscription off the Zone like that. Oh, yeah.
And they didn't have to pay.
No, because they ain't got no pay-per-view, you know. Right. Canelo's breaking the motherfucking mold next week with the DAZN pay-per-view. And here it is again, going to cost another $70 I mean, man, I hope you're ready to chuck it up, because we got UFC and we got Canelo on the same night. That's money. It's money in the bag. You know, hopefully these stocks start rising, you know, so we can get this, so we can start paying for these pay-per-views, you know, and not be negative in equity. But essentially, that's just the schedule that we have coming up. And I mean, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano lived up to the hype. 110%. So I can't wait till they run it back. Gotta have a run back. As close as that fight was, you gotta have a running back.
Absolutely.
Jake Paul, and I firmly believe Jake Paul and P. Diddy, Eddie Hearn can make that happen.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, the way that fight went down, there's no reason why I don't believe either one of them will anything get in the way of making this happen. And I feel Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano will want this too.
Yep, I agree. And we want it the same way, you know, with Undisputed back on the line. You know, we don't want to rematch at a different weight. No, we want a rematch with the titles on the line.
Yeah, so just run it back one more time. Hey, Madison Square Garden would probably, let's just say, be more than welcome to have you back. Because I firmly believe sold out every seat from almost over 19,000 to see a first-time headline of women's fight at Madison Square Garden. So, again, can't say it enough. Electrics, boxing fans won this weekend. So
men's boxing, that's what's catching up to do.
The main question: what's next for Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano? The rematch, and we will revisit that topic once again when that gets there. Fight of the year candidate, fight of the year.
I think men's, it's already fight of the year.
It's definitely probably going to be fight of the year for women's, if we separate that category. But it's definitely up there for fight of the year. It don't matter, all genres.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So again, lastly, kudos to that. Now, the only thing bad about having so many great things on at one time is the crossover effect. And then when you have these two promotions competing and putting on great shows at the same time, and like we've said before, you knew it without even having to say it. They are well aware of each other, and they try to make sure that each of their own has this eyes glued to them. You definitely don't want to put main events on at the same time and split eyes like that. It's not cool.
Right.
So they did a great job of making sure that the crossover effect wasn't too bad. Yeah, it's going to happen if both promotions start at 7 o'clock, 7:30. You're going to have it, but it's what fights do you want to see at that time? And leading up into it, Top Rank was putting on a good card. A lot of young prospects on Top Rank. I think Top Rank's the best in the business when it comes to young prospects. That's just me. And, hey, many people will agree. Many people will probably disagree. But I really feel like when it comes to young talent, when you see on these undercards at Top Rank is putting on great prospect fights.
I mean, I still think it's Matchroom,
I think Matchroom had, to me, my opinion, you could look at the cards and kind of back this up with me. I think Matchroom has the best veteran talent. Again, the superstars are kind of spread out. Each one has their own couple superstars. But I feel Top Rank has the best fighters at under, say, 10-0. Then I believe Matchroom has the best guys at like 27-1, 30-2. You look at a lot of Matchroom veterans, they just have great records. And, Top Rank puts on a lot of young talent. So that's why I feel like they're at. Matchroom does have a lot of young talent too, no doubt. I wonder if Eddie Hearn's going to come through with Jake Paul's request about anybody 10-0 under his stable. I'm pretty sure Eddie Hearn's got somebody to fit that bill.
I'm sure he has like 1 or 2 fighters in mind specifically for.
Yeah, who's under 10-0 to fight Jake Paul at any weight. Yeah, I know he's got somebody in his stable. So I can't wait for that to come to fruition. But they got to focus on. I think Jake tweeted he's coming back August 13th or something. So we'll get into that. But Nico Ali Walsh kicking off the Top Rank. Now, he went up against Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. So, I was looking out the corner of my eye, but let's just keep it real. Nico Ali Walsh didn't get much screen time when it came to me. Sorry. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, my eyes were glued. Now,
it's not like you missed anything.
Did you see some Ali shuffling there? He did get him out there quick too, fighting more trash cans. But, hey,
he's taking out the trash.
You know what they're going to do with Nico Ali Walsh? They're going to prep him and make sure he stays on these undercards as long as possible until we beg him for something, and then he's eventually going to fight somebody and get Edgar Berlanga, who's got another main event coming up at Madison Square Garden. Oh, my goodness.
But we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we will definitely get to, would you say David Benavidez's drunk younger brother and Jose's younger brother too? Yeah, we'll definitely get to Edgar Berlanga when the time is right. We in no rush to get to Edgar Berlanga. So, but what we are in a rush to is to get to Keyshawn Davis, who is he's ready. Keyshawn Davis is fluid, man. I couldn't help but continue to look at him while he was on screen. Keyshawn Davis is going to be a problem, a serious problem.
You think he's like it?
Yeah, Keyshawn Davis is somebody who in the next year or 2 years will be on that Shakur Stevenson level. Definitely when it comes to talent and when it comes to championship belts, because you're looking at Shakur now 18-0, Keyshawn Davis 6-0.
So you think he's going to be a superstar?
Superstar. Oh yeah, Keyshawn Davis is going to be on that level, and I can't wait for that to happen. Now again, fighting a stringent opponent yesterday, who I believe was could have been 18-0, 18-1, one in that range. I don't remember. I looked at the record, but
he's
again,
got five fights, right?
Yeah, I think he's 6-0 now.
6-0.
So, but Keyshawn Davis is somebody who you need to put on your list, and he's definitely, you can't miss fights. He's going to continue to be co-main in events on the undercard and continue to put on shows until he's ready, and they're going to unleash him, and he's going to be headlining fights from then on. Once he gets a headliner, he won't relinquish headliners at all. So, okay. Check that box. Now, but let's get to the man of the hour. My main man, Shakur Stevenson. I done already saw it, bro. I
don't know why you're trying to tell me like it's late breaking news.
Bro,
I'm right there with you.
Now, all of a sudden, everybody, I done seen 3, 4, 5 lists. Ring IQ. I even think Art Man was a little late to the motherfucking show. Late asses. All of a sudden, now everybody want to put Shakur in their top 5 pound for pound. Like, I didn't need to see him beat Oscar Valdez to tell me something I already knew. The man, look, to me, the breakout party was Jamel Herring. I really feel that. I mean, I know this was a coming out party. I get Oscar Valdez, Team Canelo. I get the magnitude. You ain't got to explain nothing to me. But I'm just saying, performance-wise, everything that went into that Jamel Herring fight, to me, was his coming out party. And that's when I'm like, this man's the real deal. Especially after the way Nakatila came back with Burchelt. Oh, that solidified it to me. Yeah, and then that lets me know the way Valdez struggled against Conceição. I didn't need to see, again, before I let you go, I didn't need to see Shakur Stevenson beat up on Oscar Valdez to solidify he's top 5 pound for pound. He's already on there. And I might let you a little in on a sneak peek. I got him at number 3.
Oh, you got him in at number 3?
Got him in at number 3.
Okay. Well, I mean, I got him at number 4. So
we'll get into our pound for pound list. Probably we'll try to get it out by next month. We want Canelo to fight. Make sure Canelo's certified. Y'all already know he was on the top of our list, so we want to make sure that he gets his. Then we got Tank coming up. Maybe Tank could put on a performance against Raleigh. Maybe sway some minds. You know,
ESPN got him at number 9.
Jamel.
Number 9, number 10.
I see a lot of people that have Jamel on there. He's got 3 belts. If he beats Castaño, which I don't believe he will, we'll talk about that when that comes up next week. But the people on his pound for pound list, so we will get to that. But for right now, Shakur Stevenson.
I mean, bro, I'm right with you.
Yeah.
Like, Jamel Herring, like, that was the fight for me as well. I mean, look, if you want a picture-perfect example of what the sweet science is, it's that fight. That was as flawless. That's a flawless performance is that you can ask for. And, again, I mean, bro, you already said it. You already said it. Like, we didn't need to see that to know that Shakur's the best at 130.
Not at all. And to me, Shakur did some things in that fight that actually should have favored Valdez, and Shakur went up in there and had success. He actually didn't box off his back foot as much as I thought he would. He stood in the pocket a few times. Not much, obviously not enough to warrant him being dumb and fighting in the Oscar Valdez's style for 90% of the fight. But what I was alluding to was that
his face up though.
Still, oh yeah. But I mean, no, Shakur fought his style for the vast majority of the fight. But what I'm trying to point out is that Shakur did stand in the pocket and try to deliver blow for blow with him at a few times. A few more times than I would have thought he would have. And then that's when Valdez did have a round or two in there where he got off double-digit lands. One of them, if you remember, I think he landed 15 shots on Shakur, and that was the most shots that had ever been landed on Shakur, ever, like tied for career high in the round. But that was because Shakur decided he wanted to stay a little stationary on that round, and he tried to trade with him. And now that's going to favor Valdez, but I'll be damned to tell you if I wasn't surprised at how well Shakur performed when he was doing that.
No, I agree. But I mean, even in those rounds where Valdez had his moments, I mean, even you talked about it a little bit last night, like, he wasn't going to stay like that for long.
No.
And
that's where the ring IQ comes in.
And when he went back to his original fighting style, I mean, he was picking his shots. He was piecing them up. He was whooping that ass.
Pete, masterclass performance, like we alluded to. It was boxing off that back foot beautifully, like sweet science. And like you said, 1-2 combination. That overhand left, again, was there all night. Cut Valdez under that right eye. Touching him up. Just touching him up.
So, I mean, what's next for Shakur? I mean, I want him to go to 135. I think the perfect fight to introduce him to 135 would be against Tank. But I feel like common sense wise, I feel like he's going to want to go to undisputed.
I don't know, because you got 2 other belts champions in the 130, so does he want to go that route?
No, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, he barely made weight 130, and I know these cats, man, they pushing their bodies to the limits and trying to make this weight. I mean, shit. You see these guys barely making weight, and Shakur is no different, trying to make 130. So 135 is definitely going to be a more more suitable weight for him, but I'd love to introduce him from Tank too, but I'm scratching my head. I don't know if that's going to happen. Oh, Uncle Leo ain't going to feed Tank to no Shakur?
Man, I thought Tank was leaving his daddy.
He is, but you're right, he is. But I think he's just leaving Floyd or whatever. I think he's still going to work with Leonard Ellaby and all that. Because like I said, Leonard Ellaby treats Tank like he's his favorite son. So I can't see Tank leaving that. He's still probably going to fight under the PBC banner. But I just really feel like it's going to be under different terms and stuff. Tank to me is not going to go out there and venture on his own to let himself get snatched up by the shark named Shakur Stevenson. He ain't going to let that happen. He knows there's not a fighter, I believe, under 147 that can beat Shakur Stevenson.
I agree. I do. But I just figured that would be a nice little introductory fight for him at 135. I'm not saying Tank's gonna handle him or beat him. I think it's gonna be another day at the office for Shakur.
Yeah. There isn't too many people. That's why when it comes to, like I'm saying, on a pound for pound list, skill for skill, I can't see anybody in a weight division right now under 147 that can handle Shakur. That's it. And if I think Shakur was if you had the same exact skill set in a guy who was 154, 155, 160, 168, I mean, he would be a problem in those weight divisions. His style and his skill and his IQ and his speed and his power that he has. No, does he have one punch knockout power? No, that's not his style. But to say he doesn't have power to beat your ass down, that'd be totally wrong. And he would be a problem at any weight division, at any weight class. Thus why, to me, he has settled in that number 3 spot on that pound for pound. I think he is the 3rd best fighter right now in boxing.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I got him at number 4. I think he's the 4th best boxer in the world right now. But, I mean, yeah, I want to see him go to 135. I think he needs to...
Is going to 135 more important than winning the other 2 belts and being undisputed at 130?
Absolutely.
Knowing who the other champs are?
Absolutely.
Okay, I agree. I agree too.
Fans aren't going to penalize him for leaving one. Bro, he is a country mile ahead of the division.
Yeah.
At 130. It's not even close.
Yeah. To me,
what's the point of him going against the other 2 champs? I mean, he's going to put him on the highlight reel. That's it.
Right.
It's not going to do anything for his legacy.
No, he'd have to move up into that thick 135 division.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, like I said, me personally, I want him to go to 135, but I think he wants to try to be undisputed at 130. So, I think that's logically what's going to happen. I know he's had trouble making weight. I just think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and moving up would be, to me, more talked about, better for his legacy, just like you said. Instead of trying to get those other 2 belts that the other 2 guys got who are not really on anybody's radar, the 135-pound division being arguably, and many people do believe, it's the deepest division in boxing. To put his name in that hat and in many people's eyes automatically transcend to the best boxer in that division, man, that's legacy type building. And then if you fight one of them top 5 to 7 guys as your first introductory fight to 135, legacy building. He'd be on the fast track faster than Canelo, who's in fight 60. Floyd, who they always, they comparing Shakur to Floyd, and Shakur's ahead of him.
I don't think at this age Floyd unified the division.
No, I don't believe he did. And at this point, Floyd was 27, 28 fights into his career. Shakur 17, 18 now.
Already a 2-division champ.
Already a 2-division champ.
A unified champ at that. I mean, he's on the fast track to passing Floyd.
Right. So for him to put his name in that hat at 135, like you said, Tank would be a good introductory fight. I know they probably not gonna, with him being a champ, I think I don't know how it works. Is he gonna get crack at, if he wants winner of Haney Kambosos after they run that rematch back.
Hey, on Twitter.
What happens there?
Hey, on Twitter, I saw a picture. It had Shakur, Devin Haney, Tank, and Ryan Garcia, and it said, "Who's the best out of these four?"
Shakur.
Well, no shit. But how is Doug Garcia? How is Doug Garcia pictured with those three?
I mean, who would you have replaced him with?
Loma?
Well, yeah, probably Loma's on the. Well, probably for just that reason. Loma's on the back of people's minds right now. I don't know. I mean, he probably is still top dog at 135, but I guess right now with him not coming back and they saying he's staying over there, I don't know. Maybe that's why he's slipping people's mind. He kind of slipped my mind too, because like you said, I'm trying to think, and sure enough, Loma didn't really come to my mind too quick. Maybe did he retire? Now, as big as that weekend was, this weekend, I should say this past weekend, as big as this weekend was, man, are we in store? Are we in for another treat this weekend? I mean, we got Canelo Bivol, which is about to be fucking epic. And then we got UFC 274, Oliveira Gagey, Thug Rose back in action.
This is the run.
Again, this is the run.
This is the run.
It's the run. I mean, starting from fucking April 9th, going all the way into June 5th in this I mean, in probably a week or two. Man, this is an exciting, amazing spring schedule for championship combat sports, and no other better place to get your information, news, and takes than right here on Combat Conversations, baby. I mean, it's on and popping up in this motherfucker right now. And as great again as this past weekend was, are we in store for another great weekend this upcoming weekend?
Bro, why are you asking these rhetorical questions?
I mean, because I want you to go ahead and allude to, you feel my energy right now. But apparently you not.
Bro.
No, I just think it's gonna be, it just, just thinking about it, just weekend after weekend, it just, this combat sports right now, this upcoming.
I get it.
Yeah,
it's
I know
championship level fighting.
Weekend after, can't miss fights. I mean, it's hard to fit anything else in these weekends when you have this amount of a great stretch. And the face of boxing, it's his week. Yeah. As great as this run is, the face of boxing is upcoming this week. So we got to give predictions on that now. No more beating around the bush. The time is now. And then we got UFC 274 coming up. So let's get into Canelo Bivol. Now, I hear a lot. Everybody hears a lot. Canelo, the face of boxing. We hear a lot about who he's ducking. Okay, David Benavidez, Charlo. I mean,
excuse me, Poo-Poo.
Oh, speaking of Boo-Boo, real quick, let's not take Boo-Boo. Let's not run this vehicle off the bridge too far. But you do see Boo-Boo's hurt and his fight got pushed back.
I mean, if the shoe was on the other foot, he'd be crying duck.
Oh, right.
Duck.
Yeah, exactly.
Quack.
But Boo-Boo got a boo-boo, and Boo-Boo had to pull out. So that, like I said, let's not get too much into that. But yeah, Boo-Boo had to pull out. Canelo ducking all these fighters and stuff. But yet, I really do think that many of us who kind of know what Dmitry Bivol can bring, this is arguably his toughest challenge that he could have. He went, I think on a previous couple episodes, we talked that I actually thought he would go for Joe Smith Jr. first. But he flipped it around. He went straight for what I believe to be the best light heavyweight of the three champs. Bivol, Beterbiev, Joe Smith. Let Beterbiev, Joe Smith duke it out. He might have knew that was going to happen. That could have been a behind-the-scenes thing. I don't know. But the fact that he got Bivol, let them duke it out, I really feel Bivol is the best of the three. And this is going to be an ultimate tough test challenge. And for me to have to come up with a prediction here right now, this is going to be tough.
I mean, I don't know, man.
He's speechless too. He's lost for words.
I don't know. Like, this, I don't want to say, well, okay. Most of the time, we pretty much know Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, Callum Smith, like, we'll say it, we'll joke, but ultimately we know Canelo's gonna come away with the win. But with this, it's like, I don't know.
There are some out there who do believe that Canelo is gonna steamroll Bivol, and I'm firmly not one of them believers.
Those are the same people that say he's ducking Charlo and Poo-Poo.
That is true. It is those.
Those are the same.
That's facts. That's actually facts.
Those are the same people that eat glue.
Those are the people.
And they draw with the crowds like this. Like,
their first response is, "You don't know shit about boxing."
Those are the same people that say, the first 3 rounds.
The first 3 rounds don't count. So, since we know the first 3 rounds ain't gonna count against Canelo and Bivol, I think Bivol, if he can press that pace and use that jab and just bring it like Triple G brought it that first fight, Canelo is gonna have problems. Again, just what you alluded to. We've talked about it before, what other fighters can do to give Canelo problems, but yet on the surface, it feels like we know that Canelo's not going to have too hard of a day at the office.
Like, nobody really expected Caleb Plant to go in there and beat Canelo. I mean, he had a good fight.
Yeah.
But ultimately we knew Canelo was going to pull away with the win and so on. But like you said, with, Bivol, if he can get his Triple G on and just keep up the pace, keep up the pressure, keep up the volume.
His footwork, Bivol's footwork is among some of the best footwork in boxing. I mean, you'll see it. It'll be on full display versus Canelo. I really feel they'll point out his footwork and you'll see it. Kind of like that. His jabs have some force behind it. They're not like the Caleb Plant touch-ups. We've talked about it on previous episodes dozens of times. Caleb Plant was being more active and doing things that'll score you points on a scorecard, but inflicting no real damage to Canelo. So in other words, the jabs he's delivering in round 1, 2, 3, and 4 are not doing damage. That way, Canelo's not being broken down in round 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
But when we saw Canelo hit Caleb,
it was like,
I mean,
that's when the health bar ding, ding, ding. He just went straight down. But Triple G, on the other hand, when he delivers his jabs, when he was fighting Murata, you could see the head whooping back and the jab is inflicting damage. It's crazy. He doesn't even really have to throw too many power punches because his jab is arguably one of the strongest jabs in boxing. And it is a power punch. It's breaking the guy down. And Dmitry Bivol has those type of similarities. I hope he can deliver it. I really do. I am anxious for Canelo to have problems.
You pulling for the upset?
I'm pulling for the upset. But I really do believe that Canelo's ring IQ and stuff is just going to overcome. And I got Canelo taking... See, you know what? It's like I don't even want. I got Canelo winning a majority decision. I said it, majority decision, because I think Dmitry Bivol. Let me settle this on my pick before I let you go. I think Bivol is visibly going to give him problems, like Triple G always has. For his 2 fights, definitely in the first one. I feel it's going to kind of go similarly to that. Bivol is going to be visibly giving him problems. But there's going to be some persuasive hits here and there that are going to swing the judges in Canelo's way. And a few of them are going to see him taking it, while the other ones are going to see it as a close fight, maybe a draw. So I'm actually kind of thinking that we have Triple G Part 3 on our hands before we actually get to Triple G Part 3. That's how funny this is seeming to me. So that's my official breakdown is, again, Bivol's going to give him problems, but Canelo will overcome. Too smart, too good, too savvy, and I think Canelo's going to eke out a majority decision.
Okay.
Total breakdown.
Well, I don't know. I think Bivol might pull a Jack Catterall, might shake things up a little bit.
Okay. Come in there and pull a George Kambosos on T.O., Jack Catterall on Josh Taylor.
Yeah, I do, but I think it's still going to go Canelo's way. But okay. I feel like it's going to be similar to Canelo and Triple G 1. I think Bivol's going to land more. I think he's going to have the harder punches. I think he's going to do more damage. I think he'll control the center of the ring. I just think he'll outbox Canelo, but I don't want to say, it's corrupt or anything, but
you don't want to scream corruption.
But I still think somehow, some way, Canelo's gonna come up with the dub.
Some way, somehow. We don't want to.
I think Bivol's gonna shake it up.
He's definitely gonna. I really think so. I think so too. I think he's gonna shake it up. But even though we don't want to cry corruption, we know Canelo gets mad love on the scorecards. Mad love. There's been fights where I feel like he's won, like we talked about. 6. He was. Let's just in this case say 8-4, maybe 7-5, but all of a sudden they give it to him 10-2. 11-1. Like Canelo, he didn't win that much. He gets off to slow starts. He figures guys out, and the IQ level that he has is just unreal. So he breaks guys down towards the end of the fight. And I mean, hey, he could very well do that for Bivol. Bivol could come out hot, maybe looking as good as we talking right now for 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. Then all of a sudden, right around 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, Canelo just chopping his ass down like a tree. And if that happens, it'd be like, well, it's Canelo. You know what I mean? But and then I will admit, and I'm ready to give Canelo his props on anything he does because he's rolling over champions. I mean, what fuck you more you want from him?
No, I agree.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, depending on the performance, we'll have to lean one way, whether or not Bivol was not as good as maybe I had anticipated, or Canelo is absolutely just that great. And we will get that answer come May 7th on DAZN. And I can't fucking wait.
I feel like it's going to end up being the latter. I'm not saying I'm overrating Bivol, too much, but I do feel like he is by far his toughest opponent since Floyd. And if he does happen to, like you say, boom, 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 methodically break him down, in rounds 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, then...
I mean, I think it's his toughest fight since Triple G, but essentially I get your point. It's kind of, going in, but there are those who are overlooking Bivol who don't want to give him no credit.
Like, let me rephrase that. Like, yeah, obviously, tough fight, like you said, since Triple G, but like going into a fight, like, I feel like it hadn't been like this since he's fought Floyd.
Well, we gonna see, because like I said, it nothing but big excitement coming this weekend, and yet this to me could be his biggest test. Triple G's gonna be a tough test if he gets past Bivol and then come again. We just worried about Triple G's punch resistance, but we know Triple G's gonna deliver some hits on Canelo. Out of 24 rounds, Triple G's outlanded him 18, 20? And I think Canelo only has like 4 rounds outland. Like, we know Triple G lands shots, powerful shots. So I'm just hoping Bivol, being a naturally bigger guy than Triple G, if Triple G was a natural 175 pounder, just imagine the amount of damage he could fucking do. It's crazy. So I'm hoping Bivol delivers that Triple G-like effect come May 7th against Canelo. I'm picking Canelo to win in my majority decision, then broke it down for you. But at the same time, I am pulling for Bivol and thinking he can stir the pot and cause problems. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I got Canelo for the dub.
So, is Dana White gonna have Canelo on the pay-per-view on the side again like he did last time? I mean, that's how big Canelo is.
Is he gonna bet another 100K?
Yeah, I bet not on this one. I bet not. He might. Hey, look, Dana White got money to blow like that. That's only 100K. But I don't think it's
peanuts.
Yeah, I don't think it's he might, but I don't think he'll put that money on him like he did against Caleb Plant. So, but UFC 274 coming up. Same day. So, again, we talked about the crossover. The only thing bad about having so many great events on at one time is the crossover. So I believe Canelo's probably going to go off first. And usually the UFC pay-per-view events kind of stay late a little bit. So
they run to about midnight.
They'll depending on what competition they have and stuff. So that's gonna be yet to be seen. But I promise you they'll be aware of each other, and they're not gonna run main events at the same time. So, But now that we done got Canelo Bivol out the way, another May 7th big weekend coming up is UFC 274 being headlined by the championship fight, Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje.
Hey, Charles Oliveira starting to get in his respect, cuz.
What you talking about now? Hold on, what you mean?
Bro, it's just that, when he first became champ, he had all these dudes calling him out, and now they starting to sing a different tune, after they get that work, cuz.
Okay. So I think I might have talked about it before in previous episodes. I think Gaethje was kind of getting a little mouthy. I think I might have asked you if he's known for being that street Jesus Nate Diaz type of cocksucking mouth runner.
I mean, not till recently, but I mean, nah, for the most part, no. Yeah, he hadn't been like that.
Right. So,
I feel like he's been like that because of Oliveira being the champ, and then like I said, he's starting to get his respect.
He is, and that fight that Gaethje had with Michael Chandler was definitely one of them fights that you gonna feel proud about coming out with the dub, because that was a flat out war.
Bro, he finished him in under 2.
That was a war though. Like, like for the time being that motherfucking fight was going on, when we stood up, that Justin Gaethje Michael Chandler fight was bombs away.
My bad. I thought you were talking about Oliveira and Chandler.
I'm talking about Gaethje. That's what
Chandler.
Talk about how afterwards. Yeah. So, but that's after a fight like that, like I said, Gaethje wanted his shot, and now he's getting it. We're gonna talk about that main event. Okay. Then my girl's back. Everybody's girl. I don't want to call her that. Everybody's girl. That makes it sound like community. But Thug you get my point on Thug Rose.
And the chick she fought, or the chick she's fighting this week, she's already beat Thug Rose.
Oh, really? So Thug Rose gonna have to come back with a little something.
Gotta come back with a little something.
Now we're gonna talk about how that fight's going down. Now, and then the third fight that we talked about, we did want to see was Tony Ferguson, Michael Chandler back. Now we know what type of fighter he is. He's an exciting fighter. He's one of those stand up, gonna brawl, bring it to your face type of fighters. And your boy's riding a 3-fight losing streak. So how you see, just real quick, how you see that fight going down?
It's gonna be a repeat of the Gaethje fight.
Okay.
And when Tony Ferguson fought Gaethje, I mean, bro, he got pieced the fuck up.
Oh, really?
Got pieced up.
Okay.
That fight ended up, that was a stoppage. And I think something similar is going to happen. I just think Father Time is, we don't like getting old, but, Father Time, it catches up to everybody.
Father Time's undefeated. But the only one to take him to the 12th round is Tom Brady.
I was getting ready to say, unless your name's Tom Brady, then.
But here's the thing. He's Tom Brady's fighting Father Time right now, and he's taking him deep. But it will be a time where Father Time just starts to get the better of him.
Right.
And they're in the last round right now. They're in the 12th round. Tom has already alluded that. This is the 12th and final round.
Yeah.
And actually, for a career that he's had, this might even be 15.
Yeah.
See if it's round 15.
That being said, I think it's gonna be a repeat of the Gaethje fight. I just think Michael Chandler, too young, too hungry, too raw. I just think he's gonna be too much for Tony Ferguson.
Okay.
So
now, just to what you said, Thug Rose has already taken an L to this woman. Now, can she flip the script and take home the dub for UFC 274?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've already seen it with other fighters. I mean, when Francis Ngannou, when he first lost to Stipe, I mean, he went back to the drawing board, worked on some shit, worked with Kamaru Usman, and
yeah.
I
feel like her ground game was so much better last fight because she had the rematch with
Weili Zhang.
Right.
Zhang
and
Weili.
the first fight, bam, with the kick. Yeah, that was nasty. But they stood up a lot on that fight, I really feel like Thug Rose's ground game improved last match. I really feel like we saw an improvement.
She's a totally different caliber fighter.
Yes, I feel like the control game and not just standing up hoping to get the one lucky shot.
Right.
I really feel like she's actually developed as a champ. She's gotten even better as
more technical
fighter.
Yes,
I really agree.
She's more polished.
Do you see her carrying that over even more so into this next fight?
Yeah, I got Thug Rose for the dub.
Okay. Yeah, I can't really see Thug Rose taking a step back. Very well could, but Thug Rose to me seems to be riding good momentum into these fights. And then maybe I kind of felt your energy where you was alluding to about the main event. But I guess how's the main event going down?
I mean, honestly,
Oliveira need to start getting his respect.
Bruh, I'm going to say it's going to be a stoppage, third round, Oliveira.
Third round stoppage, Oliveira. Now, I'm kind of liking Justin Gaethje, but I feel your confidence with Oliveira, which kind of does make me hesitate on my pick. But I'm going to go Gaethje with the upset.
Gaethje with the upset?
Gaethje with the upset. And I think he's going to go ahead and he's going to take a 3-2 split decision. I think it's going to be 2-2 going into the fifth. And I got Gaethje coming out just because of his hunger. Few other, just coming off that high fight with Chandler. Tough, really probably feeling like he can conquer the world right now. But hey, that very well could be the exact fight that you're saying you want to happen, only for Oliveira to show why he needs to start getting shown his respect.
I mean, not only that, if he finishes Justin Gaethje within the first 3 rounds, how does that make Khabib's last 3 wins look? Okay, he beat Conor, but one can argue Conor wasn't at his peak at the time that they fought.
No, we all know that, but it's still a good win. Hey,
it's still a good win, and it was arguably his biggest payday. And then he choked out Dustin Poirier in the 3rd round, which is exactly what Oliveira did in his first title defense. And then, even though he didn't fight Conor, like I said earlier, he fought Michael Chandler and finished him in under 2.
So what's that tell you? That he's gonna go in there and finish Justin Gaethje?
Possibly.
See, that's what I'm saying. When you bring the analytics and you bring the facts like that, like I said, it's hard to dispute. Kind of like how I'm digging into Canelo Bivol. I really do feel that Bivol's gonna have his successes. So I really feel Gaethje's gonna have his successes. But when you talk about Oliveira, excuse me, not to compare him to Canelo or anything like that, but the confidence level you're saying that he's at is he's got a full stranglehold on his division. And unless somebody else come and knocks him off, Oliveira needs to be shown his respect.
Exactly. And
I think Gaethje could be that guy to go ahead and do that this weekend.
Yeah, I agree. But I feel like if he gets by Gaethje, I don't really see anybody else at 155 really dethroning him. And that's when you have to start looking at, does he go up in weight?
Usually, like Volkanovski said, either keep throwing the guys who really that you all think are going to be legacy fights for me, or I'm moving up. I needs to fight the best, and that's it. I get Dana White's great at putting on fights that we fans want to see, but you got to throw somebody in there with him who he believes is that the fans are going to give him his respect for. Also, at the same time, in that either that or hey, it's time to move up.
Because to me, the top 3 is Chandler, Poirier, and Gaethje. He's already took care of 2 of them. So, if he takes care of business Saturday night.
All right. So, once again, ran through an amazing weekend of boxing. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano did not disappoint, bro. They did not disappoint.
Everybody won.
Everybody won. My man Shakur Stevenson putting on a masterclass performance against Oscar Sweet Tea drinking having ass Valdez, just like we predicted and we wished at the same time. Shout out to my man Shakur Stevenson. And yet again, on the brink of yet another great weekend in the run. That's it. Canelo Alvarez versus Bivol. And then we got UFC 274 on the horizon. So yet again, and then next weekend, once we break down the results of that one, we got Jamel Castano after that, and we got plenty more to come. So we do want to thank you all for listening to the episode of Combat Conversations. If you've listened to the episode, please hop on Facebook. Find us at Combat Conversations. All we ask is for you to hit that thumbs up like button. That way you get notifications on when new episodes are popping up to join a community of everybody who's interested in championship boxing and championship MMA. So, once again, just hop on Facebook, hit us up with that thumbs up. So, it's been a great episode. I've been glad to hop on board with you, Drizzy. Hey, last weekend was great, man. Last week, and this week's gonna be even better.
Yeah, it's gonna be even better.
I don't know what else to say. But right now, I can't wait to hop on the next episode and bring it, baby. So
again, this is the run.
This is the run. Once again, I've been your boy AG.
I'm your boy DB,
aka the boxing guru over here.
Got the MMA guru over here
already. Peace.